All right, folks. So welcome back to the series on creating a horror animatronic character. Um, so in the previous videos, we've set up our reference images. We've started modeling the torso and the upper arm. So in this video, we are going to try to do this shoulder here. We may try a couple different things, see what works out. But we'll kind of play it by ear. So what we're going to do first is do a file, set project, go to where you have your Fred project folder and hit set, do a file, open scene if you have not already done so, and open your Fred 3, then do a file, save scene as, and let's call this Fred 4. Then I'm going to go up to the top right where workspace is, make sure it's on general, tell it to reset current. It'll reset to our basic one here, our perspective view, and then I'm going to go to quad view. And then also if you don't have the outliner here, go to window outliner. With that, now we're going to try to look at this shoulder. So last time we used the extrude tool to get to the point where we had this kind of, I guess, joint or whatever between one part of the arm and then the shoulder. So now we're going to try to make this curve here. So what I'm going to try to do first is I'm going to go to face mode up in my perspective view. So I'm going to right click on the object, go to face mode, and I'm going to try to select all of these faces that make up this little circle here. And I just want to see how smooth we're able to make this curve. Um, and let's look at the side too. Okay, so it's kind of a sphere. This flat side is the part that's the tough part. So let's do this. Let's try first. Instead of doing that, or actually, we'll do that, and I'm going to hit delete to get rid of those. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a sphere. So if you're on your modeling drop down, go to poly modeling. I'm going to make a sphere, and let's bring it up here. I like using the sphere because of the fact that it already has a nice curve to it. Then I'm going to grab my scale tool and shrink this sphere down. I want to try to get it kind of close to the size of the top of my little cylinder there. And then I'm going to rotate it some to match it up with the angle that the top line of this is going. Then I'll bring it down. I think that line matches up pretty good. And yeah, I think we can make this work. So I'm going to rotate it, get it in a nice angle so it's close to matching the top of this. Then I'm going to go over here in my side view, make sure I've got it there. Now you can tell it's got to be scaled up widthwise. So I'm going to grab my scale tool, scale it up widthwise, get it kind of closer. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to face mode. Whoops, I was too close to that one, so try it again. And this one right here, I'm just going to, that line where I'm going to join the two, I'm going to grab that first face, hit delete. That way I know that's the spot. Then I'm going to go back to object mode on this one, which is right here, the cylinder one. In my outliner, I'm going to hit H to hide it. And then that way it's out of the way while I'm working with trying to hide or delete the rest of these faces. So with this now, I'm going to right click, go to face mode. And it looks like it's this row right here in the front view. So I'm going to grab this selection tool the lasso tool and I'm going to drag, left mouse click and drag around this whole bottom section. Hit delete. Now I didn't get all of them, but I can go ahead and get those. And then I'll go ahead and select my cylinder 1 again, press H again, and just kind of look at it, see how close it looks to the actual size. It's pretty close. So then what I'll do, shift select the sphere and the cylinder, go up to mesh and tell it to combine. Once I've got that, now they're kind of a part of the same object. So then what I'll do is right click, go to vertex, and I want to join these vertices here on the edge. So I'm going to grab my selection tool, and this one match up. Then I'll go to edit mesh, merge to center. Select this one, edit mesh, merge to center. And I'm basically just going to work my way around, selecting the corresponding vertices, and I'm merging them to center. And what it does is it connects them, and when it does that, it moves them to the center point between the two. I could have also, and I'll edit mesh, you can do some other little settings and merge and tell it to merge to a specific point that you select. So that's also an option too, depending on what you're doing. And so I'm just going to go around. And if these were a little closer together, we could also use that merge setting, this one, and set a specific distance between points so that it would merge. You could select more all at once, and it would basically, if they were within that distance of each other, they would merge together. Make sure to go around there, hit each of those. And you will want to, if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it, you'll want to avoid dragging a box around them because you may actually accidentally select a point that's on the other side. And then when you do merge to center, it'll merge them all together. All right. So there is what it looks like. May need to tweak some, move some of the points around to make it look a little cleaner to what it was previously. And then we're also going to, and I'm actually going to go to edge mode, I think. And this center piece here, I'm going to select those. Let's just try to pull some of those up and see what it looks like if we can get this angle. We'll have to play around with it. It may take some work. Try one other thing. I'm going to grab my selection tool, and with all of these, I'm going to select the ones that are hanging off over the side here. Oh, should have been in face mode on this one. Oops. So I'm going to try to select these faces. Then I'll go look at it real quick. And we're going to give it a try. I don't know what it's going to do, but we'll give it a try. I'm going to grab my scale tool. I'm going to try to scale it this way. Actually didn't look too bad. So scaled towards the inside and it makes that flat edge for us in order to create that piece there. Then we'll grab these edges and in the front view, I'm going to pull them up. And I think I'll just kind of work my way around these edges. Pulling them up, kind of create the same little curve. And for here, I think I'm gonna pull the whole thing up. So I'm gonna grab that, shift click the next one to it, and then pull that up. You'll notice it did not pull everything because it didn't grab that center point. I'm gonna at least get those into place, kind of where I want them. I'm gonna rotate them a little bit, that they face the correct contour that I want. Then I'm going to go to vertex mode, grab this middle one, I'll pull it up. And so now what you'll do is kind of, for this piece anyways, if you want it to be that perfect shape, you'll want to start working on the different elements here, or vertices, edges, kind of moving them into position where you want them. So I'll leave that up to you, how close you want it to match. I'm going to play with it more once we're done with this video. Whoops. Uh, but real quick, what I'm going to do now that I've got them joined, I'm going to go up here to my poly modeling tab. And this one right here, if I hover over it, it has history. If I click that, you'll notice let me undo that real quick. You'll see that this is the elements that were combined to make our new shape. Once I click this, it clears that history, so now it's all one shape. Then I'm going to freeze the transformation so that it sets this point to its 0. And so now I've got the shoulder. And so what I'm going to go ahead and for this particular video, we'll do one more little segment, and that'll be to add this, or actually, no, we're not going to do that on this piece because it's going to be a separate bend. But we can go ahead and do this cylinder, start it up. So I'm going to call this one upper arm. And then what we'll do is once this video is over, we'll have everybody kind of clean up their shoulder. Now that we've got it started, you can go back in and start moving vertices and such. But let's go ahead and try to do this forearm. So I'll go to cylinder. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Going to bring it over here. Going to grab my scale tool, scale it proportionately. I'm going to move it into place. Rotate it a little bit. Just trying to get an idea of how it'll look. I'm going to go ahead and scale it up. And then I'm going to go to my side view, check it out in there. You'll see that it needs to rotate a little bit backwards. And again, I do all these in side and front view because if you do them in perspective, which you can, you just might rotate on the wrong axis, scale on the wrong axis, things like that. I'm just trying to scale it up to fit in both of the reference images. And then let me go to front view here. And this piece